What's going on? What's going on, everybody? This is the One and One Sports Show. I am Dante. Well, I'm waiting momentarily for my co-host Shawnee to join us. And so appreciate you guys for coming in and checking us out another week. Yeah, like Jenny said, man, go ahead and smash that like button. And later on, if you got some topics you want to discuss, you want to join in what we're talking about, you are welcome to join in. They're going to drop the link in the chat so you can load up, cam up, and come discuss some sports with us. So obviously, as you can tell by the clip, obviously one of the big news in the sports world hit this week was Kevin Durant with his deciding to rescind his trade request. And so I was thinking about it, and obviously as a topic, it's so many different areas to get into it. So it's like layers to it. So I want to kind of get into the different aspects to it because there's a lot to say about it. But of course, we know that football is coming up real shortly. And as far as football topics, I do got some football we can discuss. Anything from, I was kind of holding off on college until next week. They did release some of the, the pre-AP lists and things of that nature. And so that's always, it's always fun to kind of see what teams are expected to be when everything starts out and then how things, end up later on. Some teams are mainstays and for sure they're going to be there like the Alabamas of the world. Georgia lost a lot of talent, but since they won that championship and they've consistently been, I'll say, as far as recruiting wise, they've consistently been a top 5, I think they've had a number 1 class. When you bring in talent like that and you bring in those recruiting lists, the Alabamas, Georgia themselves, Ohio State, those are 3 mains, Clemson, those are 4 teams that are consistently in the college football playoff. And Notre Dame is a team that sneaks in there every now and again, and they pull off some really good recruiting classes. And so that's how, people say you don't win on recruiting when they have the National Signing Day. You don't win a national championship because of that class. And it's kind of like, it's kind of been disproven that when the top few teams get all of the recruits, and that's who wins. And that's just, that's been college football for a while, for some while. Of course, as far as the NFL, it's unfortunate, but we got a few teams dealing with some injuries. I want to say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they've been hit by a lot. They just lost one of their interior offensive linemen, a guard, that was competing for the job. And, it's kind of boils down to, playing those guys in preseason. Football is a game that's very violent, and you're gonna have injuries. There's without question. It's just sometimes it's questionable. Should we, basically for the owner's profit, because the preseason games, the owners get full profit. They charge full price. And, you're playing in those games, you're kind of dealing with some risk there. So if you want to get into the football, we can. Obviously, speaking of injured players, I know Black Man heard about that injury to Michael Thomas. He did hurt his ankle. I haven't heard anything else about it. I don't know if they've just been tight-lipped on it, but I guess they're hoping that, it's just an ankle. I'm pretty sure with everything that's been going on with him with the ankle surgery, I'm pretty sure they're being really cautious because the NFC South, as far as like a division, is basically a 2-team race. And I know, most people would say, hey, it's Tampa's to lose. The only issue with that is I've seen that Saints team improve their defense and make some other additions to their team this offseason. And I do think they're a team that has played them really well. Aside from that playoff game a few years ago, that since Tom Brady has came, they have not beaten them. And so, adding the Tyrann Mathieu to that secondary, but they already had Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, of course, Marshawn Lattimore, all pro caliber player. That's a lot of firepower. I still got Cam Jordan. I still got DeMario Davis at linebacker. That team is pretty stacked, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with Jameis Winston. He's a guy that's a number 1 overall pick, and he was taken that out for a reason. He got a 2-year deal this offseason. He's a player that he has the arm talent. It's just between the ears. It's definitely between the ears and the decision making. He just has to make the right decisions. Mike Thomas was a guy that it's a derogatory nickname, but they call him Slant Boy because they always say he takes slants. And, he's a guy that cuts the end routes, and it's just kind of like he gets a lot of receptions, but he hasn't had the opportunity to make as many downfield throws. So I'm excited to see that, and I'm excited to see Jarvis Landry, a guy like Jarvis Landry, and a guy like the rookie Chris Olave playing on the other side of him. as far as the South. I think they can push, they still got a pretty solid offensive line. I really like their offensive tackle that they drafted. Trevor Penning, he's a guy that got thrown out of practice for fights. So you get the offensive lineman that's nasty and physical like that. Those are guys that, you want them on your side. You want them battling with you. So it's just a situation. It's a situation where if he can kind of come in and gel with the rest of the line, that's pretty good. Like a guy like Ramchick, that's an all-pro. You definitely are dealing with a team that, hey, they should be able to move the ball, should be able to run the ball with Kamara. Now, Alvin Kamara, his situation with his the fight that he got into in Las Vegas at the Pro Bowl, that situation is looking like, from everything that the tea leaves have said, from the Schefters and all the NFL insiders, he's not going to maybe not get suspended until next year. Just from the way that things sounded in the case and him being involved, I would expect at least 4 games. So if they can avoid that and they can lean on Alvin Kamara, let Jameis, coming back from a knee injury, Mike Thomas coming back in, with getting himself back into form, I really think it's a team that could surprise some people. It's definitely something to look at as far as them competing with the Bucs. And I do know that they play the Bucs week 2, and the Bucs from, because Ryan Jensen, I believe he hurt his knee as well. So I think he's done for most of the season. So from guard to guard, so both the guards and the center, you're dealing with different pieces that they're going to have in Tampa. Tom Brady just got back from 11 days off at training camp. It was rumored he was filming The Masked Singer. He said it as it was like a situation he was dealing with, a family matter. So I'll take him at his word. It's just that it's more than enough time for him to get ready for week 1. I know Dallas has improved their interior, so it's time for them to prove it. You're playing against some unproven guys. You got Michael Parsons, who does blitz up the A-gap sometimes. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Tampa deals with, the defense the Cowboys that was pretty improved last year, made some more improvements to it with signing a guy like Anthony Barr. Okay, so what we know, you said Saints definitely seeking team. Yeah, I agree. Like the Saints, that's a team to keep your eye out on. Like, I like that draft more than some of the experts did. It's just the only thing I'll say is they kind of gave up a lot. They gave up a lot for it. So I feel like they're kind of riding on Jameis to make sure he works out, because the 2023 draft class is the draft class, from what I've heard, is that's where you want your quarterback. So if you're familiar with C.J. Stroud, a phenomenal quarterback at Ohio State, of course, Bryce Young, the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, those are 2 guys that are put up there. And there's a couple of other quarterbacks I haven't got a chance to look into, project towards next year's draft. To be honest, for my fantasy players, I'm focused on my fantasy draft. I haven't been studying. I've been busy with work, and so it's been a lot. So I'm supposed to be GM in a league, so I kind of got to get that together. So, but as far as the rest of that NFC South, just to kind of give a breakdown of what they're doing. Oh, I did want to mention, I do know as far as Chris Godwin, he potentially could play week 1. He was not put on the PUP list, I want to say, early in camp, and he's been practicing. So that's someone that could come out and play. That offense is still potentially dangerous for Tampa, and the defense they still got a pretty stout defense. I don't know how much Brady has left in the tank, but I'm kind of confident the signs are showing that it's his last year. So we're gonna see how he competes, and if the Saints can take their division crown for him. As far as the Panthers, they're in that weird spot where they're not rebuilding, but they don't know they don't have a quarterback. So I guess if you, by definition, if you don't have a quarterback, it's somewhat rebuilding. And they did trade for Baker Mayfield. And with getting Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, it's basically let you know Sam Darnold wasn't the guy. He wasn't it. And you got a head coach that's, going into a, year 3. And it's kind of like you have an impatient owner and David Tepper, really big pockets. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't win enough games, he's gone. They drafted a developmental guy, I believe in Matt Corral, but it's just, I don't see it. I see them looking at the 23 draft class. If they were willing to mortgage the house for Deshaun Watson, I could see them trade what's needed to be traded with some of the top tier teams, because you are looking at a team like, I know it's the AFC East, but you look at a team like the Jets. The Jets are looking like they're going to be at the top of the draft again. Joe Flacco looks like he's going to be their week 1 starter. Zach Wilson did get hurt. They feared it was an ACL injury. It was not. They gave him maybe up to 4 weeks to be out. that's a situation where you sit him, and probably you look at if you sit him, you're gonna lose some games. You all right? Well, we know you said Baker and Sam pretty much the same player. Yeah, they're both inconsistent. They both. I'll say Sam Darnold is maybe he's Baker, but he's less less attention on him, less mouthy, man. What's going on, Marcus? Appreciate you checking in, man. And so as far as the Panthers, like I don't know, the defense is it's got some pieces. I know they got a guy in J.C. Horn that they're bringing back that's coming from injury that they had a lot of high hopes in. Brian Burns is a good edge rusher. So, you got their linebacker wise. I know they have Shaq Thompson, and that's about it. I know they said that was a thing. Google and read about teams and see what their needs are. So basically, they're just kind of waiting to see can they get something to pop with Baker because they have Robbie Anderson, and they have a really good guy, DJ Moore, as far as a receiver, up and coming receiver that's really kind of underrated. And this might be one of the if Baker can get on the ball, this might be one of the last years where you can say, oh, he's underrated. He's not really, as a guy that doesn't get talked about enough. So I see you coming in, Marcus. What's going on, bro?
What's up, Dante? You holding it down, son?
Man, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to get with Shani and see if he's gonna go ahead and jump on. But what you got to talk about? Well, you know what? For you, what do you think about perfect topic? Usman, he lost. How do you feel? Did you check that fight out?
Yeah, man, I did check that fight out. UFC 278. It was a pretty I guess it was kind of emotional type of UFC 278, just because you had the middleweight fight between Paulo Costa and Luke Rockhold. It ended with Luke Rockhold retiring, but and he lost that fight. Luke Rockhold lost that fight by split decision, but he went all out, guns blazing, and it was an entertaining fight. Paulo Costa won, and so we're there talking who might Paulo Costa fight again. Was it Adesanya, the style bender, or might fight Robert Whitaker or Jared Cannonier? And then you have, the main event, which was the shocking kick heard around the world, right?
Yeah.
So the first round, Leon Edwards handled business, took care of it, run that round like 10-8, 10-9. But then Usman was kind of feeling him out. So then that's when it's like, all right, let me give you some false hope. So Usman dominated rounds 2 through 4, right? 10-9, 10-9, 10-9. So now Usman's up 3 rounds to 1. And the 5th round is like a 50-50 round, And at that last minute, like about 55 seconds left, boom, he lands the kick because Usman leans towards his right, our left. And then, Leon was practicing that because his coaches were saying, hey, he tends to do that. So if you exaggerate that under jab or the uppercut or the hook to the left side, he might lean to his right. And it happened. Before you knew it, lights out. And it looked like he saw a ghost.
What's crazy about it is I didn't get to catch the fight, but I had heard the recap, and the recap and everything I heard about it was just as you explained it. The only thing my question was, as far as UFC goes, it's kind of like I've heard this, and I want to say, can you attest to this? Guys rise up really quickly, and they're there, but when they fall hard. And so
sometimes,
okay.
I think it's only the few great ones that come back from it, and then they kick ass, as they say, and they'll, like, for example, great example, George St. Pierre. George St. Pierre was a guy that lost once or twice, but the guys he lost to, he whooped their butts the next 2 fights they fought him again. So in those rematches and then the third fights they had against the guys that George St. Pierre lost to, he whooped their butts, controlled it, knocked them out, submitted them, and then, gained back the belt. And, then, like Khabib never faced defeat, obviously. So Khabib's the anomaly, right?
Yeah.
John Jones, he has a disqualification, but it was only because DC fought it in the MMA courts,
Yeah.
And then, so, there's a few champions here and there that have lost, but it's very slim. So in order for you to keep going on greatness, you got to go like on 3 or 4 or 5 winning streak, and then potentially you might have a title shot contending again, But
okay.
That's just how it goes.
See, I'm the type that if you give me a draw, since I'm a casual of the sport, and I'm honest with it, combat sports, whether it's boxing and whether it's MMA, I'm a casual to it. So you got a guy like Usman, and he's a great champion, and he loses.
One of the best.
Yes, my intrigue is let me catch another fight, and the next fight I want to see how you bounce back. Just because I can respect the guy that falls down and tries to get back up. I can respect that all day. So I'm gonna check out the next fight one. And the thing is with MMA, I will always say as a business model, I don't like Dana White, but they kick ass.
No.
He gets the job done. He gets the people the fights they want. While I'm still waiting on the goddamn Spence and Bud Crawford fight. I'm still waiting on to get finalized.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this real quick too before Hank goes. Shout out to Hank, but I will say this because Leon did lose to him 7 years ago in December. That was the last time Leon lost. After that, he was on a 10-fight winning streak, or more than that. I think like a 12-fight winning streak. But he bounced back. Restrictions happened. England couldn't let him leave because ever since the pandemic, when it happened back then, they weren't able to get him fly out. And he had scheduled fights, and they get getting canceled, or someone got sick, or whatever happened, injuries. And then they're saying, who do you want? Masvidal, who kind of cheap shotted you backstage 2 or 3 years ago, or did you want Usman again for the third fight for the trilogy? So I think they're going to go towards the trilogy fight with Usman, just because Usman keeps leaving messages out there saying, "I'll see you soon, boy." And it's either Usman or Masvidal or Colby Covington or Hamzat Shemaev, because I know Hamzat and Nate Diaz is going to have his last fight, and Nate Diaz is a stage well-known name in the UFC. So
definitely, I know his name, man.
Yeah. But shout out to Shawnee because I know he came in too.
What's going on,
done.
bro?
Hey, what's up, y'all? Sorry about that. Yeah, they had me working overnight last night, so I was up, but my time and all my time equilibrium was all discombobulated. So I'm over there playing video games. I saw your message. I'm like, oh hell, I got. I'm like, damn. I didn't know. I forgot today was Wednesday. For whatever reason, I was thinking today was Tuesday. I was out of there, but I'm good though.
Appreciate you coming on, bro. Man, I know how it is with work, so. Especially I've worked overnights before, and it throws your timing off. It really does. So I feel you. What's going on, Hank?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
What's up, man?
What's up, Hank?
What's going on, Marcus? How y'all doing? How you doing, big bro?
I'm not being a house saver. That's all I know.
You got plenty of them out there for you. Don't worry about
Man.
They out there, but hey, look, I didn't get to see the UNC fight, man. I forgot all about it for real until I seen the results. I'm like, damn. But
so that's what y'all talking about, the fight?
Yeah, we was talking about the fight because I got that ESPN breaking, and I was like, oh, I thought this dude didn't lose. I was like, what's going on? And then I started looking into it and see what happened. And basically, dude had the fight, just got a swift kick in the head. Well, you said 55 seconds, Marcus? 55 seconds left.
About 55 seconds left in the 5th round.
See, what's when them smart boxers, man, they would dance and stay away from the dude. They feel like they up, the corner think they up. Hey, man, just stay away from them. Don't mess around, get a lucky punch on your ass and get knocked the hell out. Because now he's desperate. When a dude desperate, he gonna go for everything. He gonna take chances. And that's what he got him. He got him on a good kick to the head, man, and hurt him, knocked him out. But you put your chin out there like that, he gonna put something on you.
Well, Floyd said, protect yourself.
I just got a notification about the fight because I don't be having anything that allowed me to watch any fights. And when I got the notification, it was like, oh, breaking news. I'm like, oh, hell, I guess somebody unexpected got knocked out.
What's going on, Tommy? I see you checking in.
What's that on, John?
Tommy B.
What's up now?
Ain't shit, man. Another day, another dollar.
Feel that. I feel it, man. We got the KD story, but I'm waiting for this football so damn bad, man. I'm glad college is getting ready to start next weekend. Get the Labor Day weekend and everything. Week 0.
Shit, you're starting this weekend. You got some starting this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I got.
Who got Xbox? I need some Madden victims.
Nope.
Oh shit, I don't play no Xbox though. You ain't got to worry about that here.
I got it, but I ain't got 23 yet. I've been too busy.
Hey, I got Nintendo. Will that work for you?
Ain't doing
I was gonna
that.
say Sega Genesis.
I ain't say Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, dog. Let's fire it up. Come on, bro.
Hey, you ain't stopping Bo Jackson.
Nah,
Hey,
that's
hey,
cheat code.
him or Christian Okoye.
Hey, say Dante. Since you brought up the college football, I remember when I was looking at my notes from the previous week. We originally was going to talk about the different topics, and college football was one of them. I know we was looking at week 0, but one of the questions I wanted to get at, because I believe it's going to happen this year, but I forgot the 2 teams that's going to be involved. It's like a good HBCU school versus a good FCS school. And I want to see, like, do y'all really believe that some of the better HBCU schools, because they all FCS,
Yeah.
but some of the better HBCU schools can handle against them upper FCS schools, and that's the North Dakota State, it's another one that they always...
James Madison.
Yeah, James Madison, yeah. And I forgot, they're going to be playing against each other. I believe it was North Dakota State versus Central...
I can't remember who.
Was it?
I know who I've seen it. But
some school in the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Central Carolina?
I want to say something about, like, Carolina A&T.
Or Eastern Carolina or something like that?
No, it wasn't Eastern Carolina. I don't think Eastern Carolina is HBCU.
You know what, though? I'm going to say this. I'm looking for it. I was in a SWAC chat room, Twitter Spaces, and they were talking about what the SWAC schools got to do to compete. And they said one of the things they got to do, because I know in my time at Prairie View, we used to do this. When we finally, like, I was covering the team for the school newspaper. So in 2007, we had the first winning season for the first time in 30 years. When they didn't have scholarship players and all of that stuff, that long losing streak, all of that. So I'm looking at it, and I heard the coach say it one time when he got the guys around. He was like, yeah, we're going to schedule this team. You know, that's an easy dub. Your goal is, like a lot of college programs, you schedule some of those cupcake games. But if you were a team in the FCS level, you have to, you have the playoffs that's attainable, but the SWAC teams don't do it because one of the conference games, one of the historic conference games, Grambling and Southern, plays right when the college FCS playoffs goes on. So you just have the conference championship, and then now they made the Celebration Bowl. So you can't schedule too many cupcake games, because you also got to schedule the money games, because you're a black college, you ain't got no money. So you might have to play an A&M. You might have to play a step up, get that 750, take that tough L. So you can't schedule as many. You're not Alabama. You can't schedule as many lower tier schools, and that's the problem. And upfront play, it's hard to offensive. If you watch the NFL, it's hard to watch some college linemen. High level college football, it's hard to get those linemen. Hell, Texas had to pay $50K a person to get quality offensive linemen, and surprise, they got 2 5-stars. So it's hard to get that line play, and you can have all the skill guys you want. And, like, you can see it in, I want to say the game Jackson State played. Their defensive line, their offensive line was just getting torn apart in that Celebration Bowl. And that up front play against the North Dakota States, the James Madisons, and those different schools, I heard those guys saying it. They are not ready yet. They're going to have to step that up. And once they step the recruiting and the development up, then they'll be able to go another level. That's why I think it's impressive, Grambling got Hugh Jackson. That's cool. He was an offensive guy, but what are they going to do up front? When you get those up front right, that's when you're going to see them being able to compete with those teams. And you'll know.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm about to say, when I found that school, by the way, it's North Carolina A&T. They're going to be playing North Dakota State. I don't know. They're going to like the outlook of that, because North Dakota State is basically Alabama. CS.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But when Grambling, that's why I thought when Grambling, for the super short period, when they hired Art Browse, I was like, oh, hell, this is a game changer. But that only lasts about a week. And he pretty much resigned because of all the negative publicity it received. But yeah, go ahead, Hank.
No, what I was gonna say is them schools can't compete on a regular basis, man. No, they just can't, man. Because anytime what is gonna happen, as soon as that coach get good, he's gone.
You
He's gone. I mean, they're gonna plug him. They're gonna take him right up out of there. He's gone. I wouldn't be surprised Deion be gone by the next couple years, man. He gonna be Tommy. Watch what I say. He going back to Florida State. Florida State about to get ready to coach.
He's doing it for something
only in
different.
his second year. What'd you say?
He doing it for something different. We already had this discussion, but we had it. I think we had it on my show. But yeah, he doing it for something different. He ain't doing it for the money. He ain't doing it for the accolades and stuff. He really trying to push these HBCUs and get them to a different level.
Tommy, that all sounds good, and I'm sure it makes your heart feel good and make you feel butterflies. That ain't gonna work. Mama come calling, you going home.
No,
Mama's
he could already left.
Mama Florida State.
He said he's already had calls from major schools.
He ain't had one from Florida State yet. Florida State ain't called him yet. As soon as they call, he gonna make that jump. It's hard. It's gonna be hard.
it's hard to turn down that money.
It happens at the
If
FBS schools.
If what he's saying he's there for, then it's not gonna be hard because he's there and he's trying to do something.
Yeah, but you got to get at least. You got to at least.
You think about him like these other coaches. These other coaches are in it to get as high as they can. According to Deion, and I can only go by his word. That's not what he in it for. So, I mean, like I said, I can only go by his word.
Yeah, man, that's all you can go by. But you got to at least have 25 to 30 guys, man, to compete. And they're not getting 20 to 35 guys, a year. They're not.
Bro, I mean,
Jackson State?
I agree with you.
None of them.
In this little itty bitty amount of time that Deion has been there, look how much he's changed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's changed the culture by beating the teams that's in his conference.
No. You're not listening to him.
You got to remember, he got his ass
You're not
in
listening
that
to him.
program.
I'm not even talking about just the school. Look how much he's changed as far as the outlooks on HBCU. They're getting by top 10 talent now.
Him and Eddie George.
And he just started. You know what I'm saying? So I understand exactly what you're saying, but if they get a movement going and these boys start getting together going, you know what? We ain't gonna fuck with them. We gonna go fuck with them. I mean, who's to say that they won't be able to get some talent in like that?
Well, it's gonna be hard because that NIL deal is gonna say, hey, y'all ain't got the money to pay these guys.
Deion started what, like 3 seasons ago at Jackson State?
Last year was his
I think this will be his third season.
Okay.
No,
Because
his first was
the
pandemic year.
season.
His first,
Yeah, pandemic.
Yeah.
Well,
But piggybacking off of what Tommy brought up, Deion did spark something, and it's not just only dealing with Jackson State, because now you got this new stream of this HBCU Go that's out now, and then also the big one, CBS. Now they done got a deal. HBCU schools done got a deal, and CBS gonna be broadcasting a lot of their games. So that attention that HBCUs, because Deion even said himself, somebody brought up, will he be willing to play Alabama? He was like, no, we're not there yet, because mainly they would get totally dominated up front. The skill players, they may be able to hold their own. But the skill players never going to come into
They're
the
still
picture
not a collective team.
Yeah, they're going to get dominated both the O-line and D-line.
It's not even just the players. Hugh Jackson coaching out there now. Eddie George. Like, that's stuff that we wouldn't have seen if Deion didn't come make this step.
Thanks.
Like, he's made it. And if you think about it with these recruits, even over the money, their main thing is they want somebody that got that connection to get them in the league. And they're getting coaches in the HBCU right now that got connections straight to the league. You feel me? So, and I'm not going to ever say that they're going to be competing with, say, like an Alabama and recruiting and shit like that. What I'm saying is, I think it's going to look a lot different. If Deion stay and this shit goes in the direction it looks like it's going, he might make a major change. Like, we might be, if he do that, I think that might be more impressive than his whole, NFL, MLB career. I mean, that is nuts.
I want to see them challenge the other FCS schools first before they try to even attempt to go to the FBS. But go ahead, Dante.
No, I was saying like he sparked the fire because you got guys like him and you got quality coaches that were already there. They have to step their game up. I mean, wherever you just got a coach, Bubba McDowell, he was a former NFL player. So you know these coaching guys for the Oilers, he knows what it takes to get to the league. They have the coaching internship where they're getting guys and they go over there and coaching with them. They're getting different skill sets as far as upping their game at the college level. But for me, I will be happy and satisfied if when it comes to the point where you talk about the Celebration Bowl, the team from the MEAC and the team from the SWAC are quality programs. They got all the way around the teams up front, skilled players, quarterback. And if you get that and you get a quality product, because we know we're going to get from the classic games, you're going to get a good product in those games. Like, I'm glad with the HBCU Go, it's been a crime to me. Grambling and Prairie View has not been like on ESPN2 or stream. Now it's going to be streamed on HBCU Go so you can get the eyeballs, because football and sports in general, if you get eyeballs on it, it interests kids. Like, all the teams that I still root for is because the teams that I saw as a kid. Now, true enough, we older, so there was only 1 or 2 games. Now it's 7, but it's still the eyeballs and the notoriety of the name being pumped up. So when Deion said something, or he did this, and I know Jackson State didn't like it, but I think it was when Alabama State beat them. They put prime time when he had the gold chains on the scoreboard because they won, and they was pissed. Well, Deion served them in 2021. He served them, and it's just like, you need that. That's college football. That's college shit. That's what you need.
Well, but you know something, they it's going to be hard, because if that's a package that you have to pay a special premium for, a lot of cats ain't going to be doing that. See, I don't know if y'all knew, they had a couple of the HBCU games on the NFL Network, and they was playing it on there, man, and I was watching those games, and I thought that was nice. To me, I
think I remember that.
Really, they really need to get them on ESPN too, man. Or ESPN sports. I mean, not ESPN, ESPN News. Because you keep showing the same rerun of the same newscast. That shit gets old after a while. Why not throw a HBCU game on there? You know what I'm saying? And let it roll. You know what I'm saying? And let them at least get to the minimum ESPN too. Especially
now, they was doing that with some of Deion's games.
Yeah,
but it was just they was just basically
but you need more than just Deion's games.
Exactly,
That's the thing about it. You can't just keep showing Jackson State all the time.
Exactly,
you got to show these other schools. You know what I'm saying? So they can have an idea about what these other schools are putting out there and what type of product they producing. I'll tell you another thing, man. Some of these guys who want to be head coaches in the NFL, the black coaches, I think they need to go down to the college level and become head college coach, man, and then work your way back up, man. If that's what you have to do, you do what you got to do. Right now, you're getting passed over. You know you get screwed in all types of fashions.
Eric Bieniemy is the first name I think of.
Opportunity, like Eric Bieniemy. If you got the opportunity to be a college head football coach, why not? Why keep on getting assistant pay and lack of respect because you got an offensive. Your head coach is an offensive guru. They not respecting you and your play calling because they think he's making all the damn calls. So take your ass down to college level, show what you can do, and then work your way up. I promise you, every year they taking a college coach damn near and bring them up in the NFL. So
yeah, but everybody not college coaches like that. That's a different grind in the NFL. You feel me? Like that recruiting. That's a whole nother monster.
But you know what, Tommy? You know what? It shows. It shows you have a willing to do what you have to do to get to where you need to, where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? Plus, it's gonna make you have a different type work ethic. Now you got to go out here and recruit, sell yourself to these players. Hey, if you got good assistants, they gonna close the book for you. Only thing you gonna have to do is come in and sign the papers.
Yeah, Eric Bieniemy is he's a perfect match for that because. That dude, he's been around that NFL head coaching circle. You keep hearing his name out there. And now, I think it's to the point now they probably won't even entertain him anymore.
No,
his name been out there too long. They just completely ignore him.
Yeah.
I
don't think he's getting the symphony interviews anymore. That's how crazy he is, man.
He in that Hugh Jackson territory now. Be like Hugh. Hugh went to Grambling, Bieniemy. Find your HBCU, get your name out there. Cause I think the biggest thing about him is his. I don't really know. Cause I think I heard rumors about he did bad interviews or something like that.
I heard domestic violence is passed.
Oh yeah.
And they said they're gonna bring that up because I want to say when he had already had a coaching job, and he's a Hall of Fame player. Jason Kidd, they asked him about that at his press conference, and I was like, oh, that was like a minute ago. He didn't have it's like his third coaching job, but when the climate changes, they change the questions, and as far as this, they have all kinds of different rules. So I mean, with Bieniemy, I can see them. They could get a PR team to be ready for it if they wanted to hire them. But what I will say, as far as the coaching at the HBCU level on up to the NFL is showing, in college, has its different trends as well. Get as many black coaches as we can, being quarterback coaches, receiving coaches, because it's looking like, if you look at the NFL, all the hiring coaches are offensive. Now, I feel like you should finally get leaders of men who can lead somebody. But if the wave is offensive guys, get as many guys coaching offense as you can, because that's just what the game is steered towards. Because I don't think you're going to get too many coaches. Now, it's great for coaching attention to detail if you get a special teams coach, like Jim Harbaugh was one, and them guys and coaching is a lot about details. So if you get some guys in that realm too, that can help, but for the most part, offense. Get those coaches in there, get those clinics so they can rise up,
But you know what? It's like a wave. Right now, it's offensive. Look, 2 years from now, they'll go back to the defensive coordinators or get defensive coaches again. And so it's hit and miss. But Colorado came and offered a man a job. After your boy Mel Tucker left to go to Michigan State, they wanted Bieniemy. Mama called, you should have took that job. You keep getting passed up for these NFL jobs, dog. They already shitting on you. They don't respect you for some odd reason. They don't. No, go to college. Coach Sheriff for about 3 or 4 years. Give them about 3 or 4 good seasons, and revisit.
Y'all talking about Urban Meyer?
No, just like the black coaches and really the NFL and college football. But speaking of that, I like Bieniemy go through that Nick Saban factory. You know how boys go down there to Nick Saban, they be inspired to get a head coach. Go down there, spend like a year or two, and next thing you know, they're gonna be a head coach somewhere. If it's a college football, it's gonna be a predominant D1 school, or they may get looks in the NFL. But that seems to be the path. You got these dudes who want to be head coaches again in whatever capacity. They go down there to Alabama, and then within a year or two, next thing you know, they top. They leading the candidate on these major D1 schools. And I'm like, sometimes a major D1 school can be like an NFL if it's a big enough program, unless you just insist on leading grown men compared to, raising younger men generation. So, but yeah, I say, man, Bieniemy go down that Alabama route like these other schools.
You know what? My last thing before we get into like the KD topic, as far as college and HBCUs, the one thing I want people to realize is, and I'm in a swag at the HBCU group, and they talk about a lot of stuff. We need to do this. And it's like, bro, I need y'all to realize, as far as the endowment of the university, as far as the high level Power 5 Division I schools, or even the lower ones, they have so much of an endowment and a financial advantage. The goal is to focus on these FCS schools, because Nick Saban can afford to hire 4X high-level college, Division I college, or former NFL flameout coaches, and those are analyst guys that they can just sit and, I noticed you need this. I noticed this team did that. They're doing future scouting. They're doing so much stuff, and they don't have any restrictions on how many coaches they can have, because some rich donor is paying the salary. So before we get love it that Deion has sparked the fire, but let's not go from the fire to it. No, it's not. It hasn't gotten as high as it can. It has to keep building with the keep getting the attendance. Shout out to Prairie View needs to get their attendance up for their school, to the games, a lot. They post them, but they need to need to keep the attendance high, keep showing that it's profitable and that there's a vision that people want to see it. Get the eyeballs. I want to say HBO Go is free. I mean, the HBCU Go is free for now, but like you said, Hank, eventually they want to make some money. They're gonna charge, so they either got to get that working with the streaming or get a TV contract set up just to keep growing and keep building it. But they need to do it slowly, and they don't need to try to we're gonna jump in this conference, because North Carolina A&T jumped into another FCS conference that wasn't the MEAC, and I had to check on them. I don't want to shit on them and tell a lie, but I heard it may not be going exactly the way they wanted to. And so,
what conference did they get into?
I have to look it up, but I know when FAMU came, basically when the team started jumping on the HBCU side, when FAMU and Bethune-Cookman came over to the SWAC, that's when you knew, okay, that's a money move. They came to the conference with some money, and so you could see a super with the super conference fallout from the Power Five. You could see the HBCU, SWAC, and MEAC kind of have to join, because those are the only two conferences that are Division I. That are Division I FCS. The others are lower tier, and so you gotta figure out how to make it. And hopefully you keep the tradition and don't have a Jackson State branching off, Alcorn branching off. Like, that would be devastating. So, but the money dictates a lot, you know. So they gotta figure out how to dictate it and still grow it, how to steer the money inside and keep the conference together.
Mm-hmm.
So, Shawnee, you wanna? I almost put it in the text I sent for the topic. I think this is an L on player empowerment, and this is a W for the owners and for the owners and the GMs for what just happened with KD. I think they finally got a dub, because I think they just said, hey man, this is getting ridiculous. Because when you go and look at the roster, first of all, he did it too late, because they did it and they pushed back the release of the schedule to try to see what was going on with this. They didn't give them a Christmas Day game. So you got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons, and those three players are not in the Christmas Day game. He messed up the bag, but he's still there, and I don't care what nobody said. The expectations are still high, because defense was their problem. That's a switchy wing. He's a point guard, but he's a switchy wing. KD, he can give you enough defense. And then you'd have to figure it out. Claxton is a good player. You still got shooters in Seth Curry. You got Joe Harris. Keep them healthy. I mean, they got some pieces. It's just, they just have to tone out all the noise. I mean, they did bring on the noise.
You still need like two all-stars, though. They need another role player and another all-star.
You talking about the Nets?
The Nets don't need another all-star.
Yeah.
They need a role player.
The Nets roster right now is championship worthy. That's why everybody was looking.
What Marcus talking about?
That's why everybody was looking.
The same team that got their ass whooped by Boston.
Nah, because they didn't have a full. You forgot Joe Harris. They was basically playing one-on-one ball versus Boston. They had no camaraderie. Yeah, they had no camaraderie. That now you got Ben Simmons coming back from whatever he had going on.
Did Ben Simmons even play last year?
No.
No, he didn't play.
Yeah, so if you look at their roster on paper, they only team I can say. I mean, they'll be up there, but they will definitely be the favorite to be representing the East in the finals. That's the thing why everybody was just so pissed off at KD for the most. Like, dude, why are you worrying about looking outside when you are currently on a team that can challenge for a ring? Just give it 1 year, because they haven't really.
Kyrie's crazy ass.
Yeah, I mean that's his boy and all that. I have no idea what their relationship is now, because I know because he for whatever reason he tried to protect Kyrie, but I know during the season he was like, damn man, just get on the court, because they had so much high expectations. Because Harden was coming back, he was healthy at the time, and everything, but all that just went out the wayside because Kyrie's personal decision. Everybody will say, yeah, we respect your personal decision, but that's a personal decision. You're on a team. So you want to make that personal decision, it affected your team, and look what happened. Now y'all camaraderie was all out of sync. You had some injuries y'all couldn't get over, and then you messed around and got swept in the playoffs. So it was basically Kyrie and KD one-on-one versus everybody else. So it's just, but if they come back, just give a full season, play team ball. Oh yeah, they are high favorites to be representing not a Milwaukee, because Milwaukee losing Chris Middleton was huge. So you got to play against teams that are better jailed. But yeah, on paper, oh hell, they can win a title. They can win the title. So I think it's a good thing that him and the Nets came to, well, really KD came to their senses. So he was trying to really force his way out of there. but the Nets didn't really find no deal that was worthy of him. Like I said, several weeks ago, that Rudy Gobert trade, that Jazz, that messed up everything. Because that trade could have been good enough for KD. But when he got traded and got that, now they were looking at something higher. Teams wasn't going to give that up for KD. So, but yeah, I think it's good that they able to rewind this clock for one more season. Because Kyrie gonna give it the best he got because he playing for a new deal. Ben Simmons, I think if he mess around and pull up what he was doing these past couple of seasons, his career could be in danger. Ain't nobody gonna even do that no more.
You know something? I don't think it's gonna work out because they had too much happen over the summer, man. Feelings have been hurt. Trying to get rid of the coach and all of needs to go. Man, they got too much bullshit going on, man. Kyrie's a bitch boy. He acts too much like a woman.
Damn.
Man. And KD don't know what he want, man. I mean, the leadership is just not there to me.
They about to come out next year. They about to come out next year and kill. Watch. They about to come out next year and kill. Watch.
Man,
they got the talent.
They gonna look here. Ben gonna fall on his knee and he's gonna get hurt. Talking about my shoulder dislocated, but he hit his goddamn knee. Man, I don't know, man. Them dudes, they too goddamn frail. Their emotions are frail. Their bones are frail. Can't get along with coach. They want a different man. Look here, I don't see it. They got all the talent.
Black
they gonna find a way to screw it up.
Clip this.
You said what?
I said, make sure he clip this.
Oh, you want to save this for the season coming.
Hey, them boys gonna be nasty next year. I'm telling you.
Talent-wise, they should, but
yeah,
like he said, they got too much going on. It's just
you got to worry about what's going on between their two ears.
Exactly, man. It don't make no sense for you. You got all this talent, but we just can't
understand it. That shit ain't going on no more. Corona gone. Kyrie full time now.
He full time.
Ben Simmons gonna actually be playing. Like y'all basing it off a year that was fucked up. You feel me? And you can say whatever you want. I fuck with Kyrie on what he did. Like just straight up. And if you look at the rules, it was dumb as hell anyway. Because it's like if you own the team, you couldn't play. But a visitor team could come and they didn't have to have it, but they could still play. It made no sense.
Yeah, that's true. That's what threw me off.
Well, but the thing about it, man, Kyrie did some other things had nothing to do with the COVID route.
Exactly.
He missing games ain't got nothing to do with he ain't play. He missed a game because he want to go to his sister's birthday party. Come on, man, we can't do that.
Yeah, he already had a resume before COVID.
It's one thing to be selfish because you worry about your health and you don't want to get the jam.
I mean, Hank, he wasn't on Delonte West.
But dog, when you missing games because you want to go to your sister's birthday party, dude, I can't. He
didn't miss games. He didn't miss games.
Hank, if it was David Buster's, Hank, come on.
It's regular season.
No,
if you're talking about like a playoff game, I'm with you. But a regular season,
the dude already don't play every game because he's gonna get hurt. Every year he gonna get hurt. Every year he gonna go down with some type of injury. So he's only gonna give you 50 games. Then he's gonna want to sit down because I need rest because I don't want to play the back-to-back games. Man, come on, man. I can't go with it, man. I can't.
You see, Tommy, that point you just brought up about it's only the regular season. That's exactly what happened last season. Kyrie, all that what he was going through was pure regular season, but it messed up their chemistry. And look what happened in the postseason.
No.
So
Hold on.
Go ahead.
He didn't play the whole, damn near the whole season, bro. Like, come on, dog.
But that goes back to your point you made. All the stuff that Hank was talking about, you was highlighting it was just regular season. That matters because it showed his face first series in the postseason.
No, dog. It's a complete difference. When you literally miss the entire, what do you want to say? 90% of the season?
He played 29
80%
games.
of the season?
So 80, somewhere in there.
You're like, you were absent. You weren't even there. Like, your stat line is 0. Bro, that's completely different than you're there and you got to cook a couple of cuckoo days that you missed. Like, come on, man, that's way different.
Basically, he played a third of a season.
But that's the
Basically.
thing though. That's the thing.
It's not.
It's
No, they
something
had
every
games on the
something
gym.
every regular season. They've been working together 3 seasons so far.
I hear Echo.
They only have one series win for the first 3 seasons they've been together. It's been whether it's injuries, and hell, if it's not injuries, he goes MIA. If he's not MIA, he's taken off for COVID. But something has always happened, and they only have one series win to show for it. So he can do whatever happens in the regular season, but it always shows up in the postseason.
Hey man, look, he did it with Boston, and it's no different. He's doing it with the Nets. I mean, that's his MO. Unfortunately, that's his MO, man, and it's going to continue to be like. He had 42 road games, and I think only I don't know how many series they played with the Knicks. Because I know it was a New York thing why he couldn't play in New Jersey. But and I'm sure to the most they probably only had 5 games with the Knicks. So he had at least 37 games he could have played, and he only played 29? Come on, man.
The ownership, the GMs, Sean Marks had said at first, they were going to not let him play at all unless you could play all of them. But then the Omicron hit, and they needed bodies, and they caved, and they were like, "Hey man, can you just play in the games that you can?"
Exactly.
They caved, and then he did it. But like I said, I'm with both of y'all, Tommy and Shani. Hey, the COVID thing was its own thing, but as a man, as a union, it's a problem if we say, "Hey, you have to put this into your body." That's the issue. If another outside corporation says you need to put this into your body, and you have a hiring pool of a lot of people, it is what it is. Hey, I don't got the vaccine. I can't work for this airline or this situation. Cool, or this automaker. But you play in the NBA, you can't say for these only select few people that can fit this criteria to play, you have to get the vaccine. So that is not on him that he didn't want to get it. I respect it and I understand it, even as someone that got it. But from the standpoint of, hey, bro, this was a one-off. But all them other times, it's kind of one of them deals you tell your kids, hey, man, this time was a bad accident. It wasn't supposed to happen. But what about all them other times you was messing up? But for me, my outlook on them is, bro, he's going for the bag. They added Royce O'Neal as a 3-and-D wing. You got Ben Simmons who can play, high-level caliber defense. You got Nick Claxton that plays, some solid defense, defends the rim for him. Man, they got some tools and they got some tradable pieces. Like they got Seth Curry, they got Patty Mills, and they got Joe Harris. Those are 3 guys known as shooters. Seth Curry is on an expiring deal. They can't offer no picks, obviously, maybe a second rounder, but they can trade Seth Curry for, another piece that they may need. Like I think they probably need another big. They probably need another big, and he's gonna play part-time. Because once you get to the playoffs, you know how they condense the roster, and guys will switch on pick and rolls until you got to take the other big off the floor, which is kind of like, why some teams, don't want to give the big money. But I think they got a shot to do a little something because they know what's at stake. And I know the one thing they could have done, they could have got rid of Nash as coach. But they should have did that after he got swept. No way, even with no continuity, you're supposed to at least win 1 or 2 games in the postseason with that roster. To win none, Nash is just not making the right adjustments. He can't push the right buttons. But they didn't fire him, so it's all in on this season. Nash's job is on the line. Kyrie's bag is on the line. I think that's going to bring the best out of him. I might be wrong, but I
don't see it, dog. Hey,
I feel you.
He lost all hope for that.
Hank, always the hopeful, Hank.
Hey,
man, look, I'm telling you again, I watched him do that shit at fucking Cleveland. Nah, you didn't do enough. It was all okay. Your ass went after the Boston boy. You was crying the blues. Then all of a sudden you came to Jesus. LeBron was right. That was my bad. You still ain't learning no goddamn lesson.
I still remember when he was in Boston when he did that statement.
Remember the dude? He sit down some games because he wanted to protest. He had his own self-protest. What the shit are you doing, Kyrie? You missed a game because you ain't got the shot. You missed a game because you went to your sister's party. Now you want to have a goddamn protest?
It was probably Dave and
You got
Buster's.
to grow the fuck up, man.
What'd you say, Marcus?
I said it was probably Dave and Buster's. It was a good time.
Yeah, but the thing about it, he didn't tell nobody. He just disappeared.
He just did it, and then they caught him because he was on video.
Exactly.
Well, listen. The only worst thing that Kyrie has left to do is pull a Delonte West or pull a D'Angelo Russell on Swaggy P. That's the only thing he can pull.
I don't wish that on nobody, man. I ain't gonna wish that on him, man. I ain't gonna put that on him, man. Don't do that, ball. Don't put that body on him.
I still remember when Kyrie he was standing on the court. He was standing on the court addressing the Celtics fans. And he said, "I'll be coming back next year." That obviously didn't work. Soon as off season happened, start bumping with KD. Hey, let's go somewhere else. I was like, and KD is really almost in the same boat. It's like you can depend on him playing, but either one of them two, hell, you can't trust them. You don't know what KD. You just don't know where his mind gonna be at. KD, he literally changed with the wind on his feelings. Kyrie, his thing is that he has stronger things off the court that he'll put as a priority. So he will go over there. KD, he will say this one day, next day is this. You're like, damn, what the hell, man? Like, and the thing about with Brooklyn, I can understand with Brooklyn because it's similar to what the Rockets did with Harden, but Brooklyn more of, dude, we gave y'all everything y'all asked for. Everything y'all asked for. And then y'all want to just trade me. I'm like, we gave you everything you asked for with no restrictions. We y'all wanted Ty Lue, but we couldn't get Ty Lue. I don't know if Ty Lue turned it down or some other stuff. So they couldn't get Ty Lue. It wasn't Brooklyn's fault. And then they said, okay, well, Nash, even though Nash wasn't the dude they appointed, they did agree to Nash. Because as Kyrie was talking about, they was like, man, we really don't need no coach. So they said, come on, bring Nash in. We going to do what we do. And, so they did everything they asked for. And then all of a sudden, the offseason, where y'all have a legit chance to win the title, y'all going to come over there saying you traded me because the Brooklyn Nets wasn't feeling like giving Kyrie an extension because they looking at the stuff that he did on. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah. Well, shit, I wouldn't give his ass an extension either.
They didn't cave on that. But hey, fellas, we got about 8 minutes left, so we're gonna get our parting shots, man. Tommy B, anything you want to close up with? Tommy D. Tommy, you hear me?
Say again.
We close it up. We got about 8 minutes left. Anything you want to close out with, man?
Oh no, it was a cool show.
Man, I appreciate you checking this out, man. I know it's coming soon, man. Them Raiders, man. I got a partner that's a Raider fan. He cannot stop telling me about how
they're going to be a problem.
Cannot be stopped. And I'm like, bro, I feel you. I hear you. But he my boy, so I give him shit. But they got a good team, though. I can't even front.
As long as we stay healthy.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Raiders, real quick, Tommy, how did you feel about that news? Who broke that news? Dana White. About that whole Tom
Brady and Gronk.
It sounded like Gruden. He done messed up something.
Nah, it's not Tom Brady forever.
I forgot.
Tommy's still salty.
Bro, as a Raiders fan, my partner's a real Raiders fan, and he was like, "Look, that tough rule and not, man. He'll give me a rant every now and again about that goddamn game and how they were so messed up, man. Like for real, he be like, man, the NFL always wants to F the Raiders." And I was like, dang, bro. I was like, bro, y'all really feel like that? It's wild, and it's wild.
They be doing this wrong, They be doing this wrong.
I mean, I dig it because if you got an owner that sued the league, you gonna feel like that though. If you look at it, if you go and watch
not only sued him and won.
Hey, that's real. That's real. Marcus, you got anything, man?
No, man, that was a dope show, bro. Be on the lookout because I know the fights will be coming up soon in the UFC. Are going to be good. UFC 279, 280. You have Adesanya. They want to do the Adesanya-Pereira fight. So Pereira's the only guy that's ever beaten Israel Adesanya, and he's undefeated, obviously, besides losing to the light heavyweight guy he fought a few months back, Jan Blachowicz. But that only counted under the light heavyweight division. It didn't count in his middleweight. So he's still undefeated in the middleweight ranks. So be on the lookout for that fight, main event. And also you got Michael Chandler, obviously fighting Nate Diaz versus Hamzat. So it'll be Nate Diaz's last fight
John
coming up.
Jones coming back too. What, December?
Yes, sir.
I think it is?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Masvidal wants to fight too by the end of the year. He's been on a 2 or 3 fight losing streak. And Usman wants to fight too at the end of the year, hopefully by January or February. But then you got a couple boxing fights too coming up too. So, Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia. I think Gervonta wins it though by knockout.
I'm gonna check that one out for sure. Hank, you got anything you want to close with, man?
Yeah, I got a couple things, man. College football this Saturday, so football's back, fellas. So I'm loving that. In 2 of my fantasy football leagues, man, I drafted Lamar Jackson. So his punk ass better do some goddamn shit.
Is it a PPR league? Is it a PPR league?
Yeah, that's all I play with. We don't play around.
Okay.
Yeah, one more thing. Black Man Unfiltered. Extend these boys' show, man. Take it to an hour and a half, 2 hours or so. Don't cheat these fellas. They deserve that.
Yeah, they gave us the craps.
That's how we gonna work on that, brothers. We gonna work on that.
What's going on, Poppy? Hey, Shani, man, you came in late, so you can go ahead and close this down, bro.
Yeah, man. Like I said, they had me on that graveyard shift for one day. But nah, man, I'm good. I mean, I pretty much like the show. Like he was saying, I'm on board. I transition with the sports. So when it's basketball season, for the most part, I'm in basketball mindset. When it's baseball season, especially in the summer, I'm in baseball mindset. When that fall get here, that football taking over. So I'm excited about football, college football. I'm damn so excited with NFL. NFL, they playing one less preseason game this year, right?
Yeah, they're trying to keep it at 20 because they're gonna get the players again the next time to go around. They're keeping it at 20 games, 3 preseason, 17 regular season. They're gonna check one off, and it's gonna be 2 preseason games, 18 regular season games. It's coming as soon as the CB. They already set it in place when they went for 17. It's not good for health and safety. It's not good for health and safety, but the bag, they're gonna see the bag for 18 game checks, and I'm gonna be like, health-wise and the quality of the game, like sometimes less is more. And I want to keep it that way, but I mean, most fans are going to be like, hey, extra football. But I'm with you, Shani. Like, I'm excited about a lot. I know Tommy B excited about the Trojans. And I ain't got no cap. If you look at that schedule, only Utah is the only game that I'm like, hey, that's tough. And I think it's at Utah, and they play defense. So, but
and Stanford always give us a fucking hard time.
Hey, but Utah gonna be in the Final Four. I'm calling it right now. They're gonna be the 4th seed in the Final Four.
He ain't calling the shot.
I gotta look at they out of conference schedule because
it's gonna be USC.
Pac-12 schedule it just don't compare yet to SEC and the Big Ten schools right now.
Man, hey man, all I know is I'm trying to see. I'm excited because next weekend we got the Labor Day Classic. TSU and Prairie View A&M, so that's the one I'm excited. It's on ESPN Plus. That's the other thing I need to say. They're putting a lot of the HBCU games on Plus, like PV's on Plus against Abilene Christian, against TSU, and I think they're on ESPN 2 against Southern because Southern's coach left us and went to Southern, and I want to beat the brakes off of Southern. Like I'm cool if you go, but I want it because what he did was on their homecoming. He beat them down on ESPN, and then they had to get the bag and come get them. So I want the payback on the other side. Because cool, go ahead, go. If you don't want to be there, I ain't going to keep you. But I want to whoop that ass. But that's the
bring your team with your enemy, baby. That's the old-fashioned way.
Oh, yeah. So, man, that's all we got this week. I mean, we're going to have a lot of NFL, a lot more college next week, y'all. Appreciate y'all in the chat for checking us out. Heat, Tommy B, Marcus, man, I appreciate y'all as always.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Peace.
Bringing some good topics, man. Tommy B, Marcus, we got to talk some MMA and stuff. So I'm trying to be more well versed. I'm trying. So, Johnny, hey man, it's the 1-on-1 Sports Show. I'm Dante.
And I'm Shani.
Hey man, we'll catch y'all next week. All right, peace.
Peace.